We're waiting.
Feels like somehow you two looked a little bit more uncomfortable than 5 minutes prior to. What's going on?
What do you mean?
Hmm? Is it given the fact that your manager's semi-final record is not something to be applauded? Is that cause for concern for you guys?
Not really, no.
Really, eh? Hmm.
No.
I'm interested to know if I asked you guys the same question last time you found yourself in a semifinal, if that would have been the answer. I'm pretty sure it actually would have been the same answer. Last semifinal Champions League. But as we all
With a
know,
depleted squad. Okay.
yeah, that's fair. But as we all know, right, the result swang a certain way, and he has yet to cash in his ticket in a
Mm.
semifinal appearance. So I don't know if I truly buy your nonchalant response and demeanor of looking to be unfazed, when in fact, right, the numbers show that Arteta does not seem to be the man to get the job done in a semi-final
Mm.
position.
The
So I don't.
deflection tactics every time Chelsea loses or has a poor result is I'm here for it. I love it.
Wait, is to do what?
Just the deflection tactics. I love it.
No one's deflecting from Chelsea's bad performance. We lost.
Mm.
We lost in a terrible manner. Um, Frankly, I don't even know what happened because that game, first half, we're dominating. Uh, I mean, you're
Yeah,
that.
let's do the breakdown now. Actually, let's do the breakdown of the Chelsea Villa game. 2-1 at the bridge.
Wait, hold on. Wait, who watched the game?
I watched the game from start to finish.
Okay, okay, all right.
Chelsea did dominate the first half. I will give you that. Chelsea, Marco Correa was on one in the first half. He had an unreal game. I'll give him that. But I think his legs got tired the second half. Defensive mishaps. Sanchez should have been given a yellow, and that should have been a penalty when he slipped. He's got to be in control. And Matty Cash and Boubacar Kamara are idiots because now they're missing the game against Arsenal. But yeah, Laurent, you said it was disappointing.
Yeah, no. Um, Again, I think it also speaks to beyond just having dominating performances. It's not enough at this point. The results have to speak or have to reflect that. So that 1-0 scoreline is always a dangerous scoreline, especially given Chelsea's lack of consistency on the defensive end. Scoreline like that is even twice as dangerous for those kind of teams. And yeah, no, uh, kudos to Unai Emery, as the tide of the game did switch around the time when he made his substitutions.
Mhm.
And those players, right? I think you had Sancho, and I mean the two goals scored by
Ollie
what's that guy's?
Watkins.
Yeah, Ollie Watkins. Yeah, yeah, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, right? It seems like at that point they wanted to win more than we did. And beyond that, I think yeah, we're not showing as much teeth in those positions that we should be showing. Because playing like that, right, and being up, you have to look to score and to not give your opponent the chance to come back. And unfortunately, we could not do that. And as soon as that game was tied, right, they felt like they could even come back for the win. So,
Do you think
yeah.
there was any impact with Enzo Maresca not being having a touchline ban? Because he was communicating with Willie Caballero, who is his assistant. You
hmm
could see that he had the walkie-talkie. But do you think there was, do you think that he could have communicated a little bit more if he was on the touchline?
I mean, for me personally, I don't even know what kind of communication would have been relayed to prevent that from happening, right? It's the players at the end of the day, right? They lost focus. Um, and yeah, no, I just feel like it's just one of those things. I don't even think in if anything, that communication comes from the captain on the field, right? Or
Mm.
the players in those leadership positions reminding players to keep their head, keep their head in the game, staying focused, and not shutting off, right? So that kind of communications, I don't think a manager is able to relay in real time.
Here's another question for you. CJ, your eyes are gonna light up when I say this. Is Enzo Fernandez a fraud?
Huh.
Because he had a piss poor game. And I think if you guys had played Malagusto, Reece James in the midfield, and Enzo dropped, I think you guys would have had a better game.
I think Garnacho is a fraud.
I mean, he's better than Madueke, right?
I I seriously think that player is has to be overlooked because I just don't even understand it anymore. And what's worrying for me is again, like those wing positions, those are very key, pivotal, also to even Chelsea's style of play, right? So yeah, I mean, Enzo has, he had a poor game, but I'd say overall for the season, right, he has shown some stability and some consistent performances, especially on the offensive end, on the offensive side of things. So yeah, I'm not too worried about Enzo, if I'm being completely honest.
Okay.
But I'm worried about the Garnachos and even the Giddens. Those are two players that are actually worrying me at this point.
Mm.
Because I if they keep playing right under this system and that guy keeps playing the way he does, I do not see how we can edge out teams, right? That have the that defend well or that have good right backs, right? Or defensive players in those positions that he's up against. Because to me, right, and if you're saying you saw the game from beginning to finish, it doesn't seem like he has the zeal or the desire to want to take on someone
No.
one on one. He shows signs of retreat, which is not good. Personally, he sometimes it almost feels like he hasn't even stretched before the game. Like he just seems very non-agile.
Nonchalant.
Yeah, no, yeah, and more so like he's just it seems like he's not agile sometimes, right? And yeah, so it's a bit concerning. And I think moving on, right, even beyond this year, I don't think he's if he doesn't improve, at least from my opinion, he's not the kind of winger we would need um going forward. So
Mm.
yeah.
Okay. So is it a top four finish that you're looking for, or do you guys trying to look for pushing to be relevant in the title? Like what are you looking for the remainder of the season?
I mean, I think the answer all fans would want to hear is always aiming for that title push, right? To the last day. And to even kind of mimic what Unai Emery said in terms of his response after the game, whether or not they were in the title race, and he responds, "What? Right? There's still how many games to play? It's not decided yet, right? Ask me this after the 34th game. I don't know if you guys heard
Yeah.
his presser. Um, and to me, right, my sentiment, I think, is always the same, right? You still go out there and perform. But now, if we dive into the world of, realism and what, based off of track record, what we actually think Chelsea can achieve, I think the inconsistencies speak volume at this point, to the point where I guess a top four would be something that I think right would have to be maybe the second target to hit at
Hmm.
this point. Because if we're being completely honest, right, the game management for me is just not there to right to hope for even right like those title pushes or whatnot. Because at any point, right, during the game, something can happen, and we can even be in a winning position, and suddenly we find ourselves losing the game, right? So it's too
Mm,
volatile. And until that stabilizes, I think we'll take our pickings at the tournament style football, right, where we can
mm,
get our trophies from there
mm.
until we find our winning ways in the Premier League. So,
Far cry from the Centurion shout, but
yeah.
not a problem. Not a problem. We'll let that one slip. We'll let that poor prediction slip. It's not a
Such is
problem.
life. Such is life. Such is life. You get thrown with so much uncertainty. And yeah, it is what it is. But there will be a year in our lifetime when Chelsea will be Centurions.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
CJ,
Yo,
we heard the breakdown for Mr. Piana and his beloved Blues. Let's bring it to the red side. We were messaging back and forth in the group chat. Arsenal won again, 2-1, beating Brighton at home. Couple big performances. David Raya. Uh, this next man that I'm going to say, if he continues like this and we win the Prem or we win a Champions League or we win trophies this year, this man could be within top three for Ballon d'Or race. Declan Rice, utility Rice, because he can play pretty much everywhere. Not the places that we want him to play. Um, Calafiori was injured pre-match. Jurian Timber didn't play due to management. They want to save him for the Villa game. Um, Trossard, our best left winger right now, hands down. And I genuinely think us three would have done better at that chance that Gyökeres had in the first half. Um, that was the man didn't have his lentil soup. There was no oomph behind that shot. But hey, we win. Keep it moving. Back at the top of the Premier League table. I know CJ, you're not going to be happy. But what was your takeaway from the game?
hmm. Yeah, you're right. Because in the moment, again, watching the game, I was not very comfortable, um, especially at the point that it went 2-1 and they got their first goal back. Um, yeah, I think it's so I was watching a few interviews and listening to a few podcasts, and um, somebody said we're leaving goals on the pitch at this moment in time, and that's the truth. I said it last time as well. I think it's just rinse and repeat at this point. But the scoreline and the dominance that we have in the game in certain spells is not reflected in the scoreline, and we leave goals on the pitch, meaning we should be scoring at a much higher rate than what we are at the moment. Right? We're getting these victories at the moment, but by narrow margins.
Mm-hmm.
Um, 1-0s, 2-1s, kind of stumbling over the finish line. And, there's two ways to look at that, right? The optimists or the positive or glass half full will say, well, we're winning games, right? We're getting over the line. That's the most important thing. But you got to kind of, the other side of the coin is you got to watch certain patterns. And I don't think winning in this fashion is sustainable, right? Especially for a club like Arsenal, who, again, we're searching for our first Premier League in 20 odd years. And when it comes to March, April, May, and it comes to real crunch time, pressure really does tell, right? Um, when you're 2-1 up, right? That game yesterday felt like it was already late April or March or May because of the importance on it, right? And the emotional. We've seen, in our first couple of title races, the emotional Arsenal where your the pressure right gets to you, and you can drop points in games like that. like that yesterday, right? Where you're up, you have a comfortable lead, all of a sudden the team gets back in the game with one goal, and then boom, at some point they can equalize, or you can even end up losing it, right? Based on pressure when you know the jeopardy on the game and what's at stake. So it kind of felt like a little bit of that yesterday. Obviously, City had one earlier in the day. Um, and Arteta and the players, they can all say what they want to say, right? We're not watching City's results. We're not watching this. We're not watching that. They know, right? They'll know the PTSD will come back again. We're human beings. It happens. It's just natural, right? We can pretend like we're robots and know this and that, but no, that team will Arsenal Football Club will fully be aware of what that Manchester City side is doing at the moment and the results that they're picking up, right? Especially if they play before us. And it's inevitable you're going to check that scoreline and check the results. So we need to keep our nerve and keep our bottle, and we need to make games more comfortable. The scoreline needs to reflect better than these narrow victories because, again, crunch time down the stretch, that could be a thing where you're holding on to a 2-1 lead in 80th minute in April when you're top of the league and you need that 3 points to stay top of the league against a City side. And pressure and everything that's going into your mind at that moment in time, in those crucial moments of the game, that can all tell, right? And that's how you make mistakes, or you get nervy, or you get edgy, and that can be seen and reflected. Fans will see that. You can see that on the TV at times if you're watching it, right? It's something that can be pretty evident, right? When you're in those situations, right? Again, I said again, especially for us who hasn't been there and gotten over the line in this competition for 20 plus years. So we need to do better at that. We really do need to be more clinical. I'm tired of just seeing us, scrape past these teams that we should really be, dominating more on, and like I said, mostly on the scoreline, right? Yes, the in-game play looks good for the most part, but we should be out of sight on the scoreline, and we should have been at least three goals up, I would say, even by halftime, right? So that's my big thing is just, we need to stop leaving goals on the pitch as the expression goes, and we need to start, or we need to stop stumbling over the finish line. Because again, I want to bring it back to Liverpool. The first 5 games of the season when Liverpool was 5-0, their performances didn't look like a team that was 5-0. They were winning narrowly, last minute winners, come from behind victories, that it didn't look good. And that's now balanced out throughout the season that we've seen so far. And look where Liverpool is now, right? So we need to make sure that doesn't happen to us. The performances and the scoreline and the dominance needs to be maintained and reflected. That's the first thing I needed to start with. But on the performance itself and how the gameplay went, I think, I was really encouraged by what we saw in the first half. Really encouraged, as you said. I think you said it best there, right? Trossard is definitely looking like he's a nailed-on starter on that left wing at this moment in time. I'm pleased with how he's playing. I saw Saka get some unfair criticism. I thought he had their fullback on toast quite a bit throughout the game. And yeah, I mean, everything else was pretty straightforward. I mean, yeah, like you said, Declan Rice, the utility man. Like, where would we be without this guy? I do think if we go on to win things and win big things, that he'll be, a player of the season. He'll be talked about, in teams of the seasons and those high individual accolades, because he is that good. He really is the man in this team, and probably one of my favorite players at the moment. He's really elevating himself to being one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player at the club. He hasn't even been. He didn't come up through our system, but he's already such a hero at this club, and we, how highly we value him. He gets it. He understands what it means, the mentality. He, wants to get this club over the finish line. You can see, you can tell.
That
and
tackle,
he's one of
you saw that tackle,
yeah.
That's not a player that's, and he came all the way back and he came across and make that tackle.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, he's playing out of position.
And that's why he's a good fit for that fullback position, right? I fully understand. If we have no one else to go in there, he's fully suited to that, just because of his athleticism, his dynamism, his his knowledge of the game. He's got great IQ, and his defensive nous, his tackling. Obviously, we know he can get forward. So, yeah, like I said, I think he just gets it at the moment, and he wants to get this club over the line. You can see when we perform and play like this, or even in games like against Wolves. When we stumbled over the finish line there, he wasn't happy. He knows what this means, and that's why for me, he's my leader, my captain, because he gets it, and he's going to drive us forward. But speaking of captains, our actual captain came through in this game.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time. That was like an Odegaard finish that we saw in the 22-23 season. Just outside the box there, bottom corner. We haven't seen that from him for a while, and he needs to step up. He's another player that needs to take certain things personally, right? Those comments many moons ago from Tony Adams when he said that Odegaard shouldn't be captain and we cannot win this league with Odegaard as captain. He needs to take that personally, and he needs to, drive us forward and have his performances reflect, the opposite of what Tony Adams has said, and that's the ultimate captain for Arsenal Football Club. That's Mr. Arsenal is Tony Adams, So Odegaard should take that on board, and really we need to start doing that, and not just the goal, but throughout the game. I think you saw even the goal may have given him extra confidence, but some of the things that he was doing, some of the passes he was making, beating his man, he was really getting a foothold in the game, and that's why when Odegaard is on it, he's almost unplayable at times, right? Because he can be one of the best creative midfielders or tens, number 10s out there when he's fully on it. But we just haven't seen that consistently for a long time. So he had it in spells in this game. So it's no coincidence that I think our overall play looked good as he performed. When he was playing well, we all started to tick. Trossard, as you alluded to, yeah. Again, I think I'm liking what he's doing at the moment out on that left wing. He should have had an assist in the first couple minutes of the game. Before we talk about the second half, before I continue on anything, like, can I ask you again? Can we revisit this conversation? Are you worried about Gyökeres? Because the thing is, they're saying before that chance yesterday, right? The whole thing around it was like, oh, he's not getting the chances. We're not playing to his strengths. We're not looking for him enough. We're not finding him early. Trossard plays well with Gyökeres, I find, because he looks for Gyökeres early, right? It's not the first time we've seen Trossard put a ball in behind to Gyökeres. So a lot of us were saying, well, he's just not getting the chances. He's just not getting the service. I mean, that's bread and butter Gyökeres yesterday, right? That ball over the top, he did well to outmuscle Lewis Dunk, the defender, and at that point, I mean, you're one-on-one with the keeper, and that's what you're doing. Like, that looked like a finish from somebody who's lacking confidence, from somebody who, it wasn't even like a striker's finish. You know what I mean? That's like, looks like what a center back would do in that position. I'm thinking, bro, we've seen you do that many times in a sporting shirt or, for Sweden previously throughout your career so far. Put your foot through that ball and just smash it home, or pick a corner. But that's the effort that you're putting in. It was a very tamed, timid effort, and I was pretty disappointed in that, man. And I'm like, because again, this is what people are saying that we need. Okay, give him the service and he'll deliver. Well, you got that yesterday, and it's like, and now you're not even doing that. So are you concerned? I mean, I'm not. I don't know. It's
the dial is definitely increasing. Like, if I was at like a 3 or 2 before, I'm getting closer to a 5. The dial is definitely increasing because, like, even the second chance too, when Lewis Skelly played him in on the left, like, that's where he loves to be, right? Like, he didn't make anything out of it. There was a shot in the second half where he absolutely killed the ball, and I thought he was going to take Verbruggen's head off. But it's like, why couldn't you do that in the first half?
Yeah.
And why couldn't you do that running off the left, which is where you love to run out? So my Gyökeres-ometer, I'd say, yeah, it's starting to dial up my concern.
Yeah, because again, those are the kind of chances. If you're missing chances like that, those are the kind of chances that we were cussing Kai Havertz for missing and Jesus in the past, and saying this is why we need a striker, somebody who's clinical in those positions, because those guys just were not doing it. And again, that's your bread and butter. That's what we brought you for. We didn't bring you in to play like Messi on the pitch, but we brought you in to finish. And when you get those chances like that you need to finish, I get that and the thing is, the reason why he is good on our side is because it's true. He does occupy defenders, right? He's a defender's nightmare because of how physical he is. He'll get stuck in, and defenders are forced to worry about him, which leaves space for the likes of a Trossard or a Saka and so on. So he's causing havoc in that sense. But I mean, as a number 9 for 60+ million, I need you to do more than cause havoc. I need you to put the ball in the net too, So that's my thing on him. But yeah, I was curious to get your take if you're starting to get concerned, because I think generally all of us have a little bit of concern there. But yeah, the big talking point in the second half was that Raya save, and I think that was the save of the season. I got to be honest, man. Like, I thought that was, from it left his foot. I told you guys, I really thought it was in, and I was ready to crash out because at that point we were 2-0 up, and I'm like, this is it. They've just fucking equalized. I was literally off my couch already, ready to snap. And when I look back, I'm like, I had to do a double take because you did see the net bulge too, so it did look like for a second that it went in, and I'm like, wait, how the fuck did he get fingertips to that? And Raya's not the biggest keeper, right? Like we've talked about this
Six.
before. Yeah, he's not a Courtois or a Donnarumma in terms of size and stature, but the way this guy can shot stop and get to those chances, like that was a fingertip save, and he had no right really to get there even. Like Minte even thought he had scored. He already ran off as if he scored, ready to celebrate. It's just how he got his hand to that unbelievable stop, because there's not just placement and accuracy behind the shot. There's power, right?
Yeah.
There's power behind that shot as well. So to get that strong of a hand on it to tip it just over the bar is an unbelievable save. And I think that alone, that's a title winning save, right? That's 3 points or 1 point, and that could be the difference come the end of the season when you look back on things like that. So that's a key moment in the whole game, and for that, I think that for that alone, he probably deserves man of the match, man.
Yeah.
Really and truly. But at the end of it, we come away with the 3 points. But as I alluded to at the beginning of this segment, is I do need to see the scoreline start reflecting the dominance that we're having, and I want to stop just getting over the line and in narrow margins against these mid-table sides, respectively. And we're going to come to it, but we got a massive game on Tuesday, and we need to pick up the overall performance if we're going to get the 3 points against Villa.
And then one other note that neither of us have said yet. Big Gabby is back. So we do have some stability in the back line, and hopefully the precaution with keeping Timber out, he'll be fit and ready to go for the Villa game, and our back line will be pretty much back to the strongest back line that we've had all year. Who knows what's going to be wrong, how long Calafiori's out, but you know, things are looking kind of up, if I may say, kind of very
It's
hesitantly.
Yeah, it's like a one in, one out policy, right? Gabriel comes back, Calafiori's injured. Like that's what continues to keep happening with us. And we didn't touch on it, the fact that he got injured, because it's just like, again, it's like water is wet, just another injury for
Yeah.
Arsenal, before a game. Like it's ridiculous now. Like what do you do? Like you can't, you laugh, you cry about, like, you know what I mean? If you don't laugh, you'll cry. Like it's one of those. Like I can't. It just continues to happen, and this is like, well, what the fuck? Like,
What's
I'm not even
going on?
surprised anymore. Yeah, I'm not even surprised anymore. It's like, it's sad to say, but in the Villa game, I'm almost expecting, you can only predict the lineup for so long for Arsenal, because it could change in an instant come
Yeah.
kickoff, or prior to kickoff, or an hour before kickoff. You find out, certain player didn't travel for X, Y, and Z reasons, or an injury in the warm up. Like it's happened so many times this season that I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again. It's so
It's a
annoying.
joke. It's a joke. It is an absolute joke. Um. All right, Laurent, did you want to add anything to Arsenal? Just how
No.
proud you are of us winning and showing you how to win and hold leads.
Mm. Mm.
Mm.
Listen, man, this is if you want, it's perfect time for me to add my banter. But no, I'll
Mm.
say this much. I'll say this much. I think what TJ has said in terms of the scoreline reflecting the actual in-game performances, I do agree with that because, right, that this is a gamble with every game, right? Every passing seconds of those games. And that if you guys do not, right, put yourselves in those kind of positions where you can see a game out more so comfortably than not, it's bound to happen where you're gonna get caught. And that result, right, could be a big result in the title campaign. So, yeah, yeah, I do agree with that point. And keep it up, as they say. Keep it up, and yeah, we'll see you when we see you.
Huh? Um. There was a couple weird results, at least for me. I don't know how you guys felt. There was a couple of weird results this week in the Prem. Starting off with Manchester United, I did not expect this type of result out of them, holding Newcastle 1-0 at Old Trafford. I know I've said it a couple times before, and CJ, you've disagreed with me. United are sitting in sixth, Newcastle sitting in 13th. Is Eddie Howe's time coming to an end?
They haven't looked good away from home. so far this season. That St. James's Park is a different story, but this, yeah, away from home this season, it's been the form has been really poor. Um, Inevitably he's going to be in the hot seat, but I don't think he's super close to the sack yet.
Yet. Okay. And if they get, because where are they at in the Champions League? That's the other thing that I want. Because whenever they have European football, they always seem to struggle. So they're in 12th
Hmm.
place. It looks like they will make it to the playoff round. So let's just say hypothetically they make it to the playoff round and get knocked out, and they lose to Man City for the League Cup. At that point, is he going to get sacked? Like to me, if he loses to Man City for the League Cup, I think he's gone.
If he loses to City,
Yeah, for
really?
me, as the EFL Cup holders, for me, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I wouldn't say so is because I mean it's no disgrace to lose to Man City. You know what I mean? Like anybody can lose to City. If they lost to a team that they should be beating, I would see that. But if you lose to City, it's you know I
Mm.
don't know.
Anything to add, Laurent?
No, I mean that's an interesting perspective on both ends. It's funny because it's almost like I don't know. Are they in a worse position than Spurs in the table? Hold on, let me check.
Yeah, they are. Spurs are 11th, and
Yeah.
Newcastle are 14th. Newcastle are getting pretty close to a relegation battle.
Mm,
Forest are on 18 points, Newcastle's on 23. So not that like it's close, but if they keep this away form up, like you never know. Who knows what can end up happening.
right, right. Um, yeah, no, but I'd say even for me, I think there's definitely he's definitely in an uncomfortable position, Eddie Howe.
Mm,
Mm,
Um, yeah, simply because I don't think this is the kind of performance that that club should be or the kind of standings that they should be finding themselves in, especially at this stage in the season. And yeah, no, they've had even the last few years, right? I know they've built their team a little bit. They did lose a big player, right? If
hmm.
we're being completely honest, this season, but
Woltemade is no slouch, man. He's been killing it.
yeah, no. So yeah, funny enough, right? They found a guy. Someone replaced him, and the player that they lost isn't having even a good season, right?
Mm.
So the replacement is performing, you could say. So I'd say I think even aside that Man City game, I definitely think that if he doesn't turn this around quickly, that yeah, for me it's hot waters for sure.
Mm. Team and two managers that are not in hot water is Man City. Pep Guardiola, they won at the City Ground, beating Forest 2-1. But did you guys see the second goal?
No.
I would encourage you to go watch it again because essentially Morgan Gibbs White was pushed and that player was not that player was not directly involved in the goal, but where Morgan Gibbs White was pushed, like it was involved in the run of play in the box. And Sean Dyche after the game, he was quite livid and he pretty much said like, "How did VAR get it wrong?" Because he likes VAR, he understands why VAR is here, and why was it not looked at? I tried watching it a couple times and I can see where he's coming from, but the skeptic in me is like, well, this is the darlings of the Premier League. They want to have a title race and they don't want it to end so early. So they're just going to bypass that because it wasn't at a direct result because I believe it was Foden who pushed him down and Cherki scored at the top of the box. Um,
Mm.
Wait,
so
like push like what with two hands? Like
Gibbs White was defending. He pushed him. He fell to the ground, and the gap that Gibbs White left because he fell to the ground is the same gap that Cherokee scored.
mm,
So, food for thought for you two. You can look at it, and I'm sure we'll chat about it on the group chat. But it was interesting because City. I mean, while City did win the game, Forest were there and thereabouts.
Mm.
I could have seen Forest taking all 3 points or at least walking away with a point. Um, my manager, well, secondary manager, Marco Silva wins at the London Stadium. More pressure on West Ham and Nuno Espirito Santos. Is Pekata gone in January? Or do you think he's stuck until they get relegated?
Where would he go? Like Saudi?
Saudi, Italy, Spain.
Hmm.
They're not going to get. I mean, if he goes to Spain or Italy, they're not going to get the money that they want for him. So it'd probably be Saudi. Even Jared Bowen, right? Like, is Jared Bowen going to stick around for this? He seems like he's a lifer, like a Mark Noble type of guy.
Honestly, the only lifer I know is a Totti. Jessica Totti. No, seriously, like that's the only guy.
Well, Mark Noble was the same way.
Oh yeah? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Mark Noble was the same way.
Yeah.
Uh,
But no,
Wasn't Steven
yeah,
Gerrard as well?
yeah, CVG.
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, no.
Laurent.
But no, I was gonna say I think yeah, I think it's high time for those guys to depart, man, if I'm being completely honest.
Mm.
Um, yeah, plus those two names in particular, right? There's a certain talent to them, and clearly the club they're at currently, right? To me is not the place for them to take full advantage of that. So
Mm.
yeah, Syria though, that I think that'd be an interesting move.
Yeah, Syria wouldn't be bad for him. La Liga wouldn't be bad for him either.
Yeah.
I think he would do great things, but it comes down to the money factor, right? Like if they're asking for 50, 60 mil for Pekata, and if they get relegated, that 50, 60 mil turns into 10.
Mm, right.
And Italian teams and Spanish teams notoriously, they do not have a lot of funds. They're not like the Premier League that can pay up. So, um, but crazy to think a few weeks ago, you guys were making fun of me about Fulham and they're pretty much in the relegation zone, and now they're 3 points off fifth place Chelsea. So, like I said, Marco Silva, man, he's the man. Fuck. Liverpool. Liverpool. Did you guys watch this game? Or did you guys catch the highlights?
I didn't know. It was on the same
Uh,
time as ours, I believe.
Oh, bro, Liverpool. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Do you watch it or you just see some highlights?
I watched the extended highlights and I was chatting with one of my friends who's a Liverpool fan. He said they did not look convincing at all. Like Wolves could have had them. So I don't know. I mean, 2-1, same scoreline that Arsenal beat Wolves. I mean, there's no reason to talk about Wolves. They're getting relegated, but Liverpool was jumping to fourth place, three games without start. I think it's 3 games or 5 games without starting Salah, and they haven't lost. I think it's 5 games, right? Because I think the only game he came on was when there was an
yeah,
injury.
yeah, something like that. For it's been a few
So
games.
maybe Arnie Slot is knows what he's doing. And and then the only other talking point is, hey CJ, your PFA Player of the Year finally scored in the Prem.
Yeah, I heard. I heard he was man of the match too.
Oh fuck, 0018, I think, 17,
Hmm.
0017. Do you want to change that prediction at the halfway point?
We should, eh? We should revisit some of these predictions, to
Yeah,
be
next
honest.
international break we should get a good chuckle and laugh at each other. I mean, I think the most outrageous prediction of all has been the Centurion.
Oh yeah, by far, yeah.
You don't think, Laurent?
I mean, I think in hindsight, obviously, right, off the mark, as they say. But
Hindsight should have been 30 seconds after you said Chelsea are going to be Centurion.
but like I said earlier, right, in this lifetime.
We should have.
Oh,
Well, we'll talk offline. I feel like at some point, and really sit you down and question you on that one. I want to know if you truly believed that was actually going to happen this season, or if that was like a banter prediction. Kind of like Crystal Palace was supposed to be Arsenal, like one of those ones.
Wait, who? Oh, you talking, bro? No one really believed that Crystal Palace. They did.
And that's the point that I'm making. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like what your Centurion's prediction was just you were just like on the windup. Like it was like a banter prediction. Like you truly didn't believe that. You're just trying to be taking the piss out of.
I can tell you right now. I don't think anyone truly believes that Chelsea were going to perform the way that they have been performing up to this point.
Honestly,
Uh,
how they're performing now is more
nah,
realistic than thinking they
put
were going
put
to go
your
Centurions. I'll tell you
put
that.
put your hand down for that, bro. Because you personally told me that you thought that Chelsea was looking very solid. Um,
yes. Solid
you
doesn't mean that they're going to be
no
Centurion, and
no,
solid
but
doesn't mean that.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that no one truly believed that they were gonna perform to the level that they're performing currently.
Yeah, but this is
Uh,
Chelsea. We were literally joking about it in September, being like, "Hey, wait
Nah,
till December
listen,
comes around, and they're
listen.
going to be out of the title race and out of everything." And
I know what you told me one
lo
on
and
one.
behold,
I know what you told me one on one, right? And I will leave it at that. I know that
mm,
you even alluded to you feared us at some point, um, which is what Chelsea does. I mean, listen, let's be real, right? These trophies that we have acquired against big names, big teams, right? You build a name for yourself in the arena.
mm,
So again, right? I'm hitting at what I've mentioned in before we hit play on the podcast, right? I think you guys should. We're giving you one, two things to think about leading up to that semifinal game, and do not take our recent performances, right, in the Premier League, as anything to attest for what our performance is going to be like in those home and away legs. So,
hmm.
I'd like to say that I'm probably the one of the three of us who probably did, how Chelsea basically is performing now. I probably wasn't the only one that did kind of expect this, to be honest with you. I know, Mert, I did mention you did think that Chelsea was going to be thereabouts, or in a title race and whatnot. But to be fair, Laurent, I actually pretty much held true to that. I said that Chelsea's inconsistency meant that I didn't really fear them in the Premier League. Really, young side, right? Inconsistency still need better quality in certain areas of the pitch. So this didn't surprise me at all, to be honest with you. Um, like I said, this was more realistic in terms of my thought process of Chelsea than a Centurions. You know what I mean? I would have what they're doing now is more so what I expected than anything close to a Centurions, to be fair. But like you said, in cup competition is a different story. So I do think that I think you're right. I think you're right about that. That we shouldn't take your Premier League form as anything to be encouraged about when we meet in the semifinals, because as we know, Chelsea is a different team in cup competitions, and will turn up for big games, right? So Premier League form and cup form is definitely, yeah, two different things.
well, yeah. I mean, I'll listen. I'll take a trophy, whether it be the EFL, the FA, or even the Champions League, right? Even if we don't win the Premier League, I'll take those, right? And we move from there. So,
Should
yeah,
do some
man.
double or nothing predictions to start the new year. I'd like to be curious if you think that Chelsea is going to walk away with a trophy for sure at the end of the season.
I think we're in a good position. I think we're
That's
in a
not
good
what
position.
he asked.
I think,
That's not what he asked. He said,
well,
"Do
no,
you
no,
think they're going to walk away with one? Yes or no?"
yeah, no, well, I'll say this. I'll say this. We have one that's looking, right? I think you guys are the only obstacles.
Deflection.
No. Well, listen, I'm giving you my honest, rational, calculated opinion on it, right? We're in a good position. It's two games, right? We'll have Caicedo for one of them. Um, and yeah, no, like if Chelsea were to walk away with the EFL, no one would be surprised. If we're being real, right? It won't be a shock to anyone here. in England, right? Across the world, it won't be a shock that Chelsea have come out with a trophy, right?
Well,
So,
you're probably third favorites out of the four teams that are
but
in it
but
currently. You're probably the third
yeah,
favorites.
but again, it would not be a shock like because Chelsea has shown that despite bro, even when Chelsea has won or their big trophies in the past, we have not. I think there's this season where I forgot which one, but when we won the Champions League, and I think we were like sixth in the Premier League or something like that,
Yeah.
Oh, when
right?
you won the
Like,
Champions League?
Yeah, but
yeah,
you guys
yeah.
just stopped trying in the Prem.
No, but but my point is, right? It's like, bro, like we on one front, right? We may not perform, but we have shown that, like that word that you like to use, the DNA, right? It is in our DNA, in our genetic makeup to come out ahead and collect the silverware, right? So no one would be surprised, right? So and then now, if I want to answer your question with absolutes, do I see Chelsea? Yeah, I can see us coming out with at least one trophy this season.
One of the domestic cups, then.
Sorry?
One of the domestic cups, then. I assume.
Yeah, I mean, well, right now the one that's even just in terms of like statistical probability would be the EFL, right? We're in a good position, semis, right? And this applies to, I think, any team at this stage, right? Where everyone has that chance to win that trophy, right? Because you made it this far. Um, Champions League, it's another story, right? We can talk about that another day. And then what? There's the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah,
Did you
no,
predict? I'm trying to
hmm?
remember if you predicted at the beginning of the season that Chelsea was going to win the Champions League. Did you predict that or no?
No, but I think Murdat said we're not, and I said you guys aren't.
Right.
So, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, two teams that are not going to be relevant in all these discussions: Burnley and Everton. Both teams walking away with a point. Turf Moor does appear to be a quite difficult place to go to. Everton dropping to 12th, winless in three. Again, they got one more. They got one more match before the turn of the year to try to set things right and end the year on a win. But it's going to be away at the City Ground, and then Burnley just. I think they're just going to go straight back down. I don't think they're going to get out of that relegation zone. So nothing really changed there. Brentford, oh my gosh, 4-1 against Bournemouth.
Hmm.
Semenyo scored, but it looks like he's joining Man City. Is it a stretch to say that Bournemouth may get dragged into a relegation battle?
If they lose Semenyo, it's possible.
No wins in their last five, sitting on 22 points. Yes, West Ham are 9 points away from them, but if they lose Semenyo and they don't have that creativity,
Yeah, no, I can definitely spot from there.
I
That's
mean,
why it's going to be a January signing.
apparently, so, a 4-1, good for Brentford.
hmm
Good
They're
for
in
Brentford.
in a good position in the table.
Yeah,
Maybe
eighth place.
that's a manager we would have to say deserves some heavy accolades, right? Depending on if they can keep this up, because that Brentford side was also, touted to be in a relegation battle. They lost their captain in Norgard. They lost Wissa. They lost their manager, Thomas Frank. They lost
Como.
Mbuemo. And look what they're doing. Look where they're in the table. So you got to credit the manager heavily for that.
They did get some key signings, eh? Like Jordan Henson, Kelleher, Fabio Carvalho. Like, but I do hear what you're saying. Like,
Yeah, man, because
but
that's big players, big core players they lost.
so yeah, that's another good manager. Villa. I mean, we already talked about this. Just unreal performance and fair play to them. They are well in the title race. Last two games, Sunderland a little disappointing. I watched this game today. They drew 1-1 at home. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I don't know if you guys have noticed, he's been on like a tear. He has been like since Leeds have been winning, he has been on a freaking tear, scoring left, right, and center. And it's, good for him. Good for him because everyone touted him as being a pretty like a good striker, and now he's finally playing up to his potential. It seems.
It was just always
Yeah,
about fitness for him.
8 goals.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well, man. He's doing pretty well. He's fourth in the Golden Boot race. I mean, I don't think he's gonna catch Haaland. I don't think anyone's gonna catch him. But for a team that just got promoted, have a 10+ goal scorer, like that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was definitely always about fitness for him. He just needs to stay fit because there's quality there, right? He just needs to maintain fitness.
Man, this right here, like even when I'm looking at the stats leader for goals, yeah, that's how you can tell which teams have strikers. You know, the fact that for one, at least on the Chelsea side, I'm not seeing a name up there, right? Just speaks volumes, right? And I don't know if you guys would agree also for Arsenal
Mm.
not having someone representing, right? Because I think that's key, man. That's key. Um, yeah, because just imagine if that Man City team doesn't have a Holland, right? Suddenly, I don't think they're collecting the points, right, in the same manner they are. And even in Brentford, right, with Igor Thiago, 11 goals. So yeah, man up top is very key, bro, to any team.
Well, it's interesting you say that actually, because right before we were recording, I was reading something that the quality of strikers in the Premier League this season and in this era right now are poor.
Mm,
At least for the big sides, right? Because like you're looking at that, as you said, I'm literally looking at it as well. The goal tally for Premier League sides in the season. I mean, you're seeing obviously Holland, but Igor Thiago from Brentford,
mm,
Dominic Calvert-Lewin, with all due respect to him, 8 goals. He's up there. Richarlison with 7 goals. He's up there. As well. And it's like, where are the big names from the big clubs? The literal statistical thing I was reading was when you look at the big sides in the Premier League, Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, the strikers currently, the number nines that each of those teams have are below par of when you're thinking of the strikers for those clubs once upon a
mm,
time, right? And in the same era when Drogba, Rooney, Henri, these were all competing against each other, Van Persie, now those three clubs, Man U, Arsenal, Chelsea, right? The standard of striker is nowhere near what
Mm.
it should be. So it's crazy when you think of it like that. Like you expect when you look at the goal tally, right, for the Premier League, you're expecting big names and big strikers from those clubs to be up there, as you said, and nowhere really to be found, which is pretty disappointing.
yep.
A striker that will never be in this position, I'm sorry to say, Eddie Nketiah. Piss poor performance. I got to watch this game again. Spurs doing Spursy things, hanging on to a 1-0 scoreline to beat Palace at Selhurst. Nketiah had like two or three good chances to put in Mateta and for Mateta to score, and he just got it all wrong. And it just reminds me, he had a couple, couple good run-ins with Arsenal that he helped us beat Chelsea, and he played that number 9 position for a few games, but he was never the answer. Um, and he will never be a double-digit goal scorer in the Premier League, unfortunately.
Damn, bro. Such said with such venom and animosity and
No animosity. It's just facts. It's just facts. Just like Chelsea will never be Centurion. There's no animosity. It's just facts
yeah, in our lifetime.
in our lifetime.
Jeez. Well, tell you what, bro. I have I think a good 100 more years. I have another centurion of life
Mm.
that I can offer to this world. So that's a lot. That's a
Well,
lot.
clip it. Clip it. It
All
won't
right.
happen.
All right. Well, listen. We'll see about that, bro. We'll see about that.
Well, we will be seeing Tuesday title race. If you're listening to this on Monday, tomorrow. Villa head to the Emirates, looking for their 12th win. This fact was I was reading this fact. Aston Villa have won 11 games in a row for the first time in 111 years. The last team to win 11 games in a row was Arsenal under Unai Emery.
Remember that run?
So Fair play.
With the last team in the Premier League to win 11 in a row?
I believe so, yes. I believe so. But I know the Villa won 100. It's been 111 years since they won 11 in a row.
I think it's 11 in all comps for Villa. I think it's 8 in a row in the Prem, and I think it's 11 all comps,
In all
to be
comps.
fair.
Still,
Something like that. Yeah.
crazy
But
stat.
still, yeah, for sure.
Um, like I said earlier in the pod, Matty Cash and Boubacar Kamara, yellow card accumulation. They will not be able to play this game. Um, it feels like every game is a must win every time that we're on the pod. Every Arsenal game is a must win. But I think this has a little bit more of a spice to it, and I
Oh
think
yeah.
Arteta does have to set things right, and it has to be convincing. I know we've been talking about like we're not putting away our chances, we're not doing this well, we're not doing that well. We are having a lot of chances, although we're not finishing them. It's the same old story. I get it. I don't want to preach to the choir that we need to finish these chances, but like this is the game. This is the statement, right? I don't care about where City's playing. I don't care about Liverpool. I don't care about Chelsea. I don't care. It's for us to make a statement. Um, Given the precautionary exclusion of Urian Timber, I think he slots right back into right back. Raya takes his place again. Saliba, Gabriel. I do think Lewis Skelly's going to play. I wouldn't be shocked if we see Nkapie at left
Hmm.
back.
That's what I think he'll do.
Um, for me personally, I would love to see Skelly because I think he gives us a different type of dynamic and different type of control. And I think he allows Declan Rice to bomb forward a little bit more than Calafiori because typically, yeah, more so than when Calafiori is playing there. And even with Nkapie, I feel like he's more like a Calafiori that he wants to bomb forward, and Rice has to fill that void. So for me in this type of game, I'd rather have Rice push up, especially without Matty Cash and Kamara to keep him in check. Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard in the middle, Saka, Yakras, Trossard. Wouldn't really change much from this game, but I would love to see Eze get on in this game and make an impact. I don't know, CJ, if you see it the same way, anything different.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna backtrack on something I said a little bit earlier. How we need to pick up performances and we need to have a performance in this sort of game. Funny enough, in this game, I think the 3 points is all that matters. If we stumbled over the finish line in this game in particular, an own goal wins it for us, or a silly a PK. I don't. The 3 points in this game is massive. I think I've been pumped for this one for a while because there's just so much narrative behind it. I think the fact that they beat us last not too long ago, right? That's still it's not a distant memory, right? That's still a fresh memory in these players' minds. And just seeing, you know, for me as a player and as a manager, and even as a fan, I'm just reliving and rewatching the reaction. If you guys remember the famous clip that went around after we lost against them at Villa Park a few weeks ago, when you saw all the players on the floor as if they just lost
Yeah.
the cup final and guys banging on the ground and laying on the ground in devastation. I'm using that as fuel for this game. Um, I think the size of the game cannot be understated at all. And I think 3 points. This is a big 6 pointer, right? Because
Yep.
if Villa win, they're level on with us, if I'm not mistaken, on points. And so, for as much as I said that I didn't see them in the title race long term, I mean, you're there until you're not, right? And so, for the fact that credit to them, if they win this game, they're level on points with us. How could I not give them the credit and pay them the respect? You know what I mean? Um, it's probably our biggest home game of the season so far with everything that's gone on now, and like I said, in terms of what it means, in terms of the either any result in what it's going to mean for us. Because like I said, if we lose, their level. If we win, we create that separation that becomes 6 points, and then I think at that point they're not catching us for the rest of the season. Um, so the result in this one is massive. And yeah, I think the psychological boost of us winning that as well will again to avenge the loss from a few weeks ago. And again, we've seen it with the All or Nothing documentary for anybody who's watched it with Arteta. He uses things from the past to fuel players in the locker room, right? Whether it was, famously, what's his name? Ivan Toney's comments. If you remember, if you watch the documentary, Ivan Toney's comments when we played Brentford, kickabout in the park with the boys when Brentford beat us. And Arteta used that comment that Ivan Toney made and tweeted about to fuel the players for that next time we met Brentford. Just for us to get that little bit of a boost, a little bit of an extra energy boost to go out and beat them. And I think this is that kind of thing that he would use, and say in the locker room to these boys, like, this team beat you not too long ago, and look how devastated you all were. You need to now avenge that and flip this result around and go and beat them. And just all the other motivation behind it is just little things, right? It's little things, but they go a long way. It's the fact that Unai Emery and Villa have literally ruined our title races and our hopes in the league for the last couple of years, right? This is not the first time they've put a dent in our charge and our title charges, right? Last season they take points off of us. The season before last, they took points off of us down the stretch when they beat us 2-0 at the Emirates. So it's like, we have so much wrong to right against this Villa side. And again, I think because they're that close to us in the title race, and the fact that we win will create extra separation. It just gives us that much more extra importance, And I think, for one thing too, it's good. It's good they beat Chelsea on the weekend because again, we take them seriously, and it's like, okay, now let us be the ones to end your good run.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. I want that. Well, no problem. Like, we don't need to rely on other teams to get it done. We can do the job ourselves, type of thing. That should be the mentality. You know what I mean? That should be the mentality. Truthfully, it's no banter, it's no dig. It's like, what are we? Yeah, it's true. What are we really doing here if we're relying on other teams to get the job done? Like, we need to get the job done ourselves, right? There's no sense relying on all these other teams to take points off of City or Villa or anybody in our title race. Like, if you want something done, you got to do it yourself, they say. So that's got to be the mentality. And the other narratives, right, on their side, Emi Martinez coming back to the Emirates again. Unai Emery himself haunting us, coming back to the Emirates. He'll be extra motivated, as he always is when he plays Arsenal, because he feels like he was done wrong at Arsenal Football Club, and I think rightfully so. So, we got to be up for it because they 100% will be up for it, and they're going to come at us. They're going to come at us, which I think will suit us as well, right? We're not going to be playing a low block. I don't think they'll come at us, which will give us spaces in behind that we'll need. So I think it's going to be a really good, fiery, physical, feisty game, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I actually can't wait, and I just need us to right these wrongs, man. And like I said, because of what's on the line, 3 points is the most important thing in this one. Overall going forward, we know, and I know that I've talked about the performances, and the performances need to improve, and maybe that's more so against the mid-table sides when you need to win convincingly. But in this game in particular, 3 points on the day for either club is the most important thing. By hook or by crook, however we get it, we need to come out of the Emirates Stadium with 3 points in our locker, man. And I'm amped for the game. And my lineup is similar to yours. I think the only thing that is likely to change, and I'm going based on what the manager will do, right? I think that he will put Hincapié at left back over MLS if Calafiori is not fit. To me, it looks like, MLS is third choice left back for Arteta at the moment. For whatever reason, there doesn't seem to be that same level of trust this season. I don't know if, defensively, yeah, we know he can maybe get cut out a little bit. So, it just looks like Arteta doesn't favor MLS as he once did for going back to last season. So I think if Calafiori is out, I think Hincapié will slot back in there, to be honest with you. The midfield three, yeah, we need, there's no fucking around with Rice in this game. We can't afford to put him at fullback, so I hope Timber's fit. But our best midfielder, he needs to be in midfield in this game, because we need him to dominate and run the midfield, because Villa's midfield is top quality, right? Even without Kamara, they still have the likes of Tielemans, McGinn, Onana. They have ballers in midfield. Morgan Rogers, that's a player that many of us need to start talking about as one of the best players in the league at the moment, So they have a lot of midfield quality. I do not, with all due respect, I do not trust a midfield of Zubamendi, Marino, and Odegaard against Villa. We need somebody with the legs. We need somebody with physicality, and we need somebody with athleticism in this midfield against Villa, because that midfield battle will be key to whoever wins this, I think. So we got to put Rice back in midfield for this game. And yeah, that's it. Otherwise, just hoping that nobody else, no surprise injuries before kickoff, man, because that's a common theme with us lately.
Yeah.
But I think if that lineup starts, and as you said, I think the benches could be crucial this one as well. As in these kind of games where it could be tight, and as Madueke, I'm looking at these guys.
Jesus. I think Jesus changed the game a lot against Brighton when he came on, and I think having him as a Madueke come and give it different dynamic to those wing backs for Villa and even the midfield, I think that's going to help. That should help us. Because
I think even as a from a personal standpoint, if he wants to avenge anything, is he knows that he let the team down right in the reverse fixture when he switched off at the back post for Matty Cash's goal.
yeah,
And he knows Arteta was not happy with him with that performance, and we haven't seen much of Eze since. So if he gets a chance in this game, he needs to right some wrongs there as well, right? So that should be a little bit of a personal vendetta for him. But yeah, the squads could be, and Villa has a decent squad too. Like, don't sleep, man. They've got good squad depth, and we do again need to pay our we have done already, but just pay the extra respect to them because look at the look where they're in the league at the moment. They're fighting in the title race, whether we like it or not. Um, and this is a club that in the summer didn't do much business, if any, at all. Right? They didn't really make any signings. If anything, they lost some of the players that helped them last
yeah.
season in Rashford and Asensio. Um, and they're still flying. So honestly, massive credit to them. Villa's a big club, a good club in the Premier League, and but once the whistle blows, that respect
It's
is
gone.
over for 90 minutes. We need to go do our job really.
London club West Ham. They're hosting Brighton. They're both looking to kind of get back into the win column. Crucial points for West Ham. Brighton, just I think they're gonna walk all over them. I don't really see much happening there.
Well, you think Brighton's going to deal with them?
I think Brighton's gonna deal with them. Yeah,
Mm.
the way that they played today and West Ham, they just don't look convincing. To be honest with you, I may be wrong. It may turn out to be like a draw, or West Ham may get a result. But I really don't. I think Brighton are gonna be too much with the way that Minte changed the game. Like I can see Paqueta having the opportunity to do that, but I really don't see it. West Ham have not been convincing at all. And like I said many times, like I don't want any London clubs getting relegated, but I think West Ham, I think they're gone.
I don't know.
Um,
Something tells me you wouldn't be too upset to see Chelsea relegated.
who? Forest. They play host again, welcoming Everton. Both teams drew. Well, Everton drew away from home. Forest, crappy results. Now this is the game where I think Forest actually get all 3 points. I don't think Everton win this game. I don't know why, but I think that performance that Forest just had against City and being hard done by VAR, I think that they beat Everton. Everton have more quality, but there's just something about the City ground, man. Like there's certain stadiums that in the Prem you do not want to visit, and this is one of those stadiums. And I think Forest they win and they get that much more distance from them and West Ham in 18th place. Mr. Piana, I actually didn't even acknowledge this. You're wearing blue.
Wouldn't be the first time, bro.
I think if we go back on all the pods, I think this is one of the first times you've worn blue.
Nah, I can tell you, I think I've worn blue before.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I can tell you you've worn red more often.
I've never worn red on. I actually probably once,
Yeah, the United kit,
probably once. The what?
the Manchester United kit.
This is not. Yeah, you lost me there, man.
Oh shit. Okay, so what do you think happens here? Bournemouth come to town. Bournemouth in piss poor form. Semenyo's been killing it. Potentially his last game in a Bournemouth jersey. Do you guys get all 3 points?
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I think that's a must. This is a must. Even that Aston Villa game, right? I don't want to say right off, but nah, compared to this is a must 3 points,
Hmm.
for sure. What I'm interested in actually is seeing whether or not he's going to go with a Gusto in left back again. That was an
Yeah, because
interesting setup.
Cucurella might be out for a while, eh?
Yeah, and to be
He's in.
honest,
Yeah.
Uh,
yeah, I didn't even mind that too much. Yeah, I think Gusto does has the versatility to play in both the left back and the right back position. So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Um, but other than that, no. I think Maresca, that ban, pretty sure was a one game ban.
Yeah, it's just a one
So
game.
yeah, so he should be back. But yeah, man, we have to. Man, I can't even stress this enough. If 3 points aren't collected, um, I think we're gonna turn blue in the face, literally. Man's gonna be looking like Smurf, sorry, on the next podcast, because yeah, that'd be unacceptable. Yeah, we have to win. We have to win, and it's like you said, right? Bournemouth are out of form, so we have to take advantage of that.
No wins in the last five.
Mm.
2 losses, 3 draws. Yeah,
He's under pressure, I'd say, Maresca.
100%. 100%. If you guys don't get a win, genuinely, Laurent, I would not be surprised if he's sacked. The way that you guys move, I would not be surprised.
Mm. Well, we'll see, man. I mean, I think the Abramovich era is far behind us at this point, right? So it almost seems like he does have a few cards to play, um, even if the result doesn't go the way we wanted to on
Hmm.
Tuesday. So
Another manager who's going to be on the hot seat if he loses, Eddie Howe. Newcastle heading to Turf Moor. I, this should be a Newcastle win. Should be. Newcastle have better players. They, you know, they know how to play in the Prem. But a part of me, again, I feel like this is one of those games where I think Burnley get a result. I'm not saying that they'll win, but I do think they get a result because Turf Moor has been a difficult ground to visit. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but just my honest feeling. And I think if Newcastle don't get all 3 points, I think Eddie Howe may get the axe.
Damn.
hmm.
No,
Frankly, I'm surprised he's outlasted Thomas Frank.
yeah, Thomas Frank, United. They had a favorable fixture to end the year. Wolves come to town. Laurent, you want to make a bet on this game?
Man, I'm telling you right now, bro. Just stop your nonsense. Stop your nonsense, man.
What's the bet?
Oh,
I don't know why you're so keen on betting with wolves or for wolves when they haven't. What have they shown you that you want to put their money on them?
they played against us very tough.
Okay, they did the same thing versus Liverpool and they couldn't. You know what I mean? And then Liverpool didn't have a apparently apart from like
Oh,
right.
I'm just
Plus,
fucking with you, bro. I'm just fucking with you.
yeah, I mean, like it's like yeah, don't go that way, bro. Don't go that way. I'm telling you right now, Man United. Plus, I think what's even more impressive is the fact that they've lost key players. Diallo, Mbeumo, uh,
Fernandez.
yes, Fernandez, and somehow it seems like they're able to hold. Right? It looks like they're gonna hold it out. And even in terms of who was it they faced? Was it Newcastle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a glimpse of that game, right? And to me, they look pretty good. They look pretty good, right? So I think Amarin is doing a pretty good job, at least for what he has. So yeah.
So are they buyers in January?
Hmm. I mean, what positions would they be?
They need probably 3 defenders
Mm,
and a midfielder.
yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Do you think Aguehi would go to
No,
United? No?
no. At least I don't think so. No,
Wait,
I
why do
think
you say
it's.
that?
I think he'd rather go somewhere where he's gonna have a chance at winning things.
Hmm.
He's in the prime of his career.
Well, come to Chelsea, my boy.
Oh shit. Liverpool is an option for him, and they start the new year hosting Leeds. Like CJ said, doesn't think this is going to be an easy game. Liverpool should get the win, but you think Liverpool's defensive leaks are going to show in this game?
Possibly, because full disclosure, I did a free hit card this week for my FPL, and I put Will Konate and Van Dijk in my back line because I'm like, surely these guys are going to keep a clean sheet and get me points. So I tried to rack up my back line with Liverpool defenders, and they fucking let me down. Um, Cheese. Should be keeping a clean sheet at home to Wolves, but hey, what can I say because we conceded against them as well. But yeah, I mean overall, like I said, the last time these two teams played, it was a 3-all thriller at Ellen Road, and yeah, Liverpool, they still have defensive deficiencies, so I can see, and with the hot scoring form that Leeds is in and Dominic Calvert-Lewin is in, I do see goals in this game, so I don't see it as being like a one-sided 3-0, 4-0 to Liverpool, to be honest. I think they'll win in the end if I'm a betting man, but I think there could be a few goals though to keep us entertained.
Last couple games, Palace hosts Fulham. Both teams kind of looking to stay mid-table. Palace have been in
Poor form.
poor form, three losses in a row. Fulham 3 wins in a row, ninth place and 10th place respectively. A draw seems like a fair result, and I think Eddie Nketiah should not see the pitch because he is not. He can't. I don't know. I wish you guys. I wish you guys watch a game. He just looked abysmal. He looked terrible. He had one good move, and then the greed came in. Like it's like, bro, you're not that guy. Just release. You made one player miss. Release the ball. You're not that guy. Um, yeah, that's gonna be a pretty good game. I think I wouldn't be shocked at a draw. Stadium of Light, Granite Xhaka, please, Granite, please. Can they play spoiler and can they slow down the robot? I don't know if Dan Ballard's gonna be fit for this game because he didn't play last game. But if they are gonna slow down the robot, he has to play Ballard, and they haven't lost at home yet. Do we see them taking points off City? Come on, CJ.
Do we see them? My heart and my head, two different answers. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is where Sunderland lose their first game at home this season. But I think a draw though is very possible. I don't see Sunderland winning. I think a draw is a very possible outcome. But shit, I don't know, man. It doesn't look good. I'm not very optimistic about this one. I think City could still win. I hope not. But I don't know. What do you think? What do you guys think?
A draw, I agree with you, would be favorable. Um, yeah. Fuck.
Dan Ballard being fit could be key too, to be honest.
Yeah. Go on. What do you think? I'm just gonna quickly see what his injury status is.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things where for when, right, the key piece is their manager, right? And that guy, once he gets rolling, right, he's figured out his moving pieces,
Sorry, are
and
we talking Pep? We're talking
yeah,
Sunderland's manager.
Pep.
Uh,
Pep. And yeah, no, I can't see it. I can't see it. The quality. It's one thing too. Like, I mean, they have quality players, right? Um, and yeah, no, even their style of play, right? Their the ability of those players to even create. Right? You have a Cherki, you have a Foden. You see what I'm saying? Like, and then you can even like you have a Doku, right? Then those are clear players on their own that have that ability, right, to reinvent um certain things, right, on the pitch. And then plus that, right, the system that they play in. Nah, man, to me, it's I think they're just gonna keep with the form that they're going.
Allard has an ankle injury, but it doesn't seem like he's going to be out for too long.
Oh,
So he
so
may, he
is he?
may. It's a
Yeah.
50-50. He's having a
Okay.
scan tomorrow. Well, today, if you're listening to this on Monday.
Right.
Apparently, he's having a scan on Monday and then go from
That
there.
could be crucial, man. His availability could be crucial.
For the physicality, yeah.
Like him against Holland, that's a good battle, you know?
Last game, Brentford looking to keep their hot form. They welcome Spurs to the G-Tech Stadium. Spurs typically travel well, but overall they've been in piss poor form. Brentford have been in good form. Which Spurs do you guys think shows up? The Spurs that typically wins away from home, or the Spurs that does Spursy things?
Hmm. Yeah, like I said,
Remember,
I think
they're
I've
sitting
alluded.
in 11th.
Think I've alluded to this before. I find that they're one of the most difficult teams to predict in the league because you never know what Spurs team is going to show up, man. They're so inconsistent. But yeah, it seems their away form still is better than their home form. I
And
guess in
how's
many respects,
Brentford's home form?
it's pretty good. I mean, generally Brentford is doing well right this season, as we spoke about earlier. But I'm not sure their actual statistical numbers. I'd imagine it's pretty good though. Um,
Let's see. Currently, they're 8-2-8.
I mean, in terms of the last 5 games in the Premier League, they have the same record.
Yeah, but when you watch the games, Spurs are.
Hmm. Well, I think I figured out where everyone's casting their vote for this one.
Yeah, I mean we are predicting this one, so um, yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Uh, Predictions leaderboard. CJ's 1 point lead on 46. Lauren and I tied at 45. Villa Arsenal. My prediction's already there. I got Arsenal taking all 3 points. Laurent's going to come in with a draw.
Do you guys draw this game? Do you guys draw this?
Arsenal, by the way.
And if you win, how do you win? Right? How do you win? You guys have the set pieces. But at the same time, man, I'm not gonna lie. If I'm going with a draw, it is strictly purely in consideration for their manager, Unai Emery. Because I just think he's the better tactician, if I'm being completely honest.
That's
I,
fine.
like I think it's just he seems to have like an experience to him. And clearly, bro, that he showed that in the game versus us. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go draw. I'm gonna go draw.
Chelsea Bournemouth.
I'm gonna go Chelsea. So you guys,
You won't be upset for copying you?
no, no. I mean, I think it's the only rational choice to make in this, right, Murdat? It's the only
I
rational
actually
choice.
don't know because I think missing Kukurea is actually huge, especially coming up against Semenyo. He's been arguably your best player.
Wait, but Semenyo plays in the on the other flank, no?
Yeah, he switches.
Hmm.
He can play right, he can play left. Oh man, yeah. I think Chelsea get things back on track,
Hey man, you said that last time, bro.
and I was confident, and you guys just shat the bed because you can't hold a lead.
Mm. So we might chat the bad this time too.
I mean, if you do against Bournemouth, I'll fucking you better come with a Kevlar vest. CJ, who do you got?
Oh, Chelsea. Sorry.
All right, CJ's favorite prediction: Brentford versus Spurs. I'm gonna say Brentford. Thomas Frank coming back.
Wait, coming back, like he was on the bed as well?
No, he
To
was
his
with
old club.
Brentford.
Ah, oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think the boys are gonna let him get a result there.
Hmm. Yeah, this is a hard one, man.
Spurs beat
This,
them 2-0 at the Toilet Bowl Stadium.
You say Spurs won 2-0?
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna go draw.
Yeah, this is hard, bro. Um, I'm gonna go draw as well.
Hey, so I got a chance to I like this. I like this. We're all locked in. We're good. We're blessed.
Hmm.
All right. Well, listeners, viewers, time of year, we we're gonna be taking a little hiatus this week. You guys will have this pod, and then we'll record next Sunday. So we won't have a preview or reaction to the midweek games, but we will have a reaction next week Sunday when we record, and you'll be hearing this the next one January 5th. We'll kind of talk about the midweek games as well as the weekend games. Um, I think I think it's safe to say from the three of us that we wish you all a very very happy New Year. Stay safe out there. There's going to be police out enforcing do not drink and drive. It's not worth it. It's not worth losing your license. It's not worth losing your life over it. Just don't drink and drive. Get ready for more footy coming your way, more bants, and we will actually see in 2026. There's 3 games against the Blues. We will see if in one of those 3 games we will see Mr. Piana and a Chelsea kit. He wasn't naughty this year. He was nice. He may have got a Chelsea kit under the tree when Santa came. He just hasn't brought that on the pod yet. We'll see. We'll see if he made it out to the Nike store. Oh shit, Mr. Piana. Anything to add?
No, no. Apart from yeah, what you said, Happy New Year to everyone, right? Make sure you guys all lock in, right? Work hard, right? Follow those passions, those dreams, stay disciplined. And other than that, I'd say watch out for some Chelsea silverware in the 2026 year. I think you guys will see some good stuff from us. and how we develop from this point on, because it's only going to get better from here. So thanks for following us up to this point, and yeah, adios to everyone.
Last but not least,
Yeah, for sure. The boys said it best. We're about to close out the year. This is the year we got going. So it's always going to be a memorable year for us. 2025, the birth of this podcast. And thank you everybody who stuck around this far and rocking with us. And um, going forward, there's good things on the horizon. If you continue to stick with us, and we'll be here delivering content week in, week out, and promise to improve in 2026, as you should always look to improve on everything in every walk of life, year over year. So that's what we're here to do. Exciting from a football lens in 2026. And like Laurent and Chelsea, I'm looking forward to 2026 as being the year that Arsenal puts some big silverware on the table. I think it's got to be our time. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to see what the business end of the season has to bring for 2026. And for those of you who are fans of the World Cup, 2026 is the year of the World Cup as well. So we're looking forward to that as well. And yeah, but without further ado, everyone, happy New Year, like and subscribe and hype up our content, and we will be here in 2026 as well.
all right, everyone. Adios.